Welcome in, everybody. It is Thursday. It is 2:36 p.m. Let me turn off my notifications so the stream does not get. Oh, I already did. There's my notification saying I'm live. Sweet. Should have people start to roll in here pretty quick. Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. How we doing today? Thursday night. The speech of the future Vice President J.D. Vance. So I have not seen his movie. I have not read his book. I'm actually looking forward to watching it this weekend. His movie is on Netflix right now. It's actually in the top. I think it's in the top 5 right now. Ooh, guys, that's such a shame right there. Sorry. I'm going by this really nice white Maserati that somebody just abused the hell out of. And such a sad thing to see. Maseratis are such beautiful cars. Got on my Muppets shirt today. I was told by my boss he finds it offensive because it reminds him how old he is, even though he's only a year older than me. Just the irony of life, my friends. The irony of life. Welcome in, welcome in. So today, if you can tell by the title, we're going to be talking about grandchildren, Grandpa Trump, and Mama, what the Southern people call their grandma. Up here in Colorado, my mom to her grandchildren, my children, goes by the name Grammy, which is cool because at least it's easy to find commemorative stuff where it actually says the word Grammy with 2 M's. So yeah, she's pretty happy about it. She is 78, wonderful grandma, takes wonderful care of her grandkids, loves her grandkids to death. Yeah. But last night at the RNC, I believe the eldest, if I remember correctly what was stated, the eldest granddaughter of the future president of the United States, Donald Trump, at the age of 17, did I think it was about a good 12-minute speech. She paused a little too much, but she isn't experienced in the realm of speeches. But for a first time to that large of a crowd, I think she did an amazing job. If any of my children had done the same thing, I probably would have cried my eyes out, lost my shit, and said amazing. So I know that the Trump family is very proud of her. She did her grandfather proud, and I think she did shed a broader light on what Trump is like behind the scenes. Everybody wants to demonize him, say how much of an evil guy he is, say how he's a racist, a demagogue, a homophobe, all this other garbage. And she exposed that he's just a regular guy. Just because he got money don't mean he's not a regular guy. Just because he ran the country for 4 years and is looking to do it again doesn't mean he's not a regular guy behind closed doors. Oh no, they're not scared, Random Channel. They are petrified. There has been a lot of scuttlebutt for those of you that are not military. Oh yeah, I agree. It is extremely funny. They tried so hard to get rid of Trump as a candidate, and now they're trying to get rid of their own candidate because they're so damn scared. They're petrified. As Benny Johnson puts it, they were on the floor crying their eyes out. I am coming from the broadcast today is coming from my way home from work, which is somewhere in the great state of Colorado. It would be greater if it was more red instead of blue, but we'll get there. The older people get, the wiser they become, and the better off people are around them because the wiser they become. So, back to what I was saying. I think that Trump's granddaughter did an amazing job. Then her father came up and did a speech of his own. I have to admit, I did like the line where he says, I'm going to do what no Trump has ever done in the history of this country. I'm going to give up the mic. I I can believe that. I truly can. And I think they played it out quite well. I think it was an amazing night for the RNC. I think a lot of things were said and displayed and talked about that can help bring our country together and show people that we're not this party that's divisive and hates everybody. We're this party that, yes, we do disagree with the own members from our party. And the reason why we disagree with them is because we have that ability to. We're not mindless zombies that when the heads of the Republican Party say, you must say this, they say it. No, they don't. If they don't believe it and they don't agree with it, they don't say it. So, for example, I know this is a hot button issue for a lot of people in the country right now, and I have my own opinion on this, and I will get to that in a minute, and whether you agree with me or don't agree with me, that's fine. Our country was based upon rights given to us by God, one of which of those is free speech. So one of the things that is a very hot button issue right now is abortion. Okay, well, I feel for you, my friend, because you live under the realm of a dictator, socialist, Trudeau, and I hope that you're able to get someone from the Conservative Party over top of you in your government, but until that happens, I will keep you in my prayers. But, going back to what I was saying, abortion is a very hot button issue right now, and I don't believe it's a hot button issue because of what the candidates have said. Well, let me rephrase that. Because of what Trump has done. I think it's a hot button issue because of the rhetoric that the left is using. Now, just to clarify terms, when I say left, I just mean those that are left of center and how they believe on a majority scale. I am not singling anybody out. I'm not saying either side is evil. Everybody has their own beliefs. Everybody believes what they believe, and when they're done believing, when they believe it and they feel passionately about it, they speak on it. Great. I have no problem with that. It's not speech that you agree with that needs protected by the Constitution. It is speech that you may disagree with that needs protected by the Constitution. And that's what the First Amendment is there for. Now, the people on the left are saying that Trump's gonna make it so it's illegal to have an abortion nationwide. And he's gonna make it so if you have an abortion after it's illegal, you're gonna go to jail as a formerly pregnant mother. A formerly pregnant woman, and then Kamala Harris was even in a press conference today talking about the 2025 project. The 2025 project, and I'm going to hold to this. I'm going to say this every time I'm on the air, whether it's here or on my Twitch channel and I'm asked about it, or in public. Everything that you're hearing about Project 2025 is a left scare tactic to try and steer people away from Trump and conservative leaders down the cart. Now, the reason why I say that, a lot of the things that are in that Project 2025, they've already been denounced by Trump. They've already been countered by Trump. Trump has said he's going to leave it up to the states. He's not going to approve or sign a nationwide ban on abortion. If Ohio wants to have a 13-week abortion ban, California wants to have we have the baby, set them aside and decide what to do with it, abortion rule, Trump's going to say, hey, you do you, boo. And when he does, people are going to move to the states they want to live under the government of. If I had the financial ability and I knew I could transfer my job down to Florida, I'd be in Florida in a heartbeat, because I love how the governor of Florida has ran that state. I love how law enforcement works. Oh yeah, they're well, I think they purposely released it to college kids. So college kids would get on social media and make their little TikToks and all this stuff. Because the first time I heard about Project 2025 was from a friend of mine who is from the LGBTQ community. I've known her for almost 10 years. Beautiful young lady. Right now she's dealing with a bout of cancer, so if you could keep her in your prayers, I would appreciate it. But she, even back then, 10 years ago, she knew not 10, 8 years ago, she knew I was a fan of Trump. She knew that I supported Trump. She knew that I voted for Trump. And she didn't mind. She listened to the way I felt and why I argued for Trump as president. And even though she is one of those people that listens more to the mainstream media and believes them, she still was willing to listen to what I had to say and listen to my opinion, which is great. If you want to listen to my opinion, great. If you don't, swipe up. I don't care. I love people that want to sit here and converse with me and chat with me and chat. I love that, and I appreciate it. And for all you that are there, you if I could give you a thumbs up of my own, I would, because y'all spend the one commodity you can't earn more of to sit with me and listen to me run my mouth. So that being said, thank you. But that's what we need in our country again, is the ability to disagree without vilifying those we disagree with. Trump is not a bad guy. I know in Biden's heart of hearts, when he had all of his faculties about him, I don't think he was a bad guy either. I just think that people have made stuff so political and stretched it to the extreme so much that it's almost made it like a combat sport. Anytime you want to get into a political conversation, you start strapping on the gloves like you're going into an octagon. Speaking of octagon, UFC President Dana White and a former employee of their sister company, now owned by TKO Holdings, WWE, Hulk Hogan, are both making speeches tonight. I can tell you right now, Dana White's probably going to be the one to introduce Trump. From what I have heard, Dana White was asked by Trump to introduce him at the RNC again this year, just like he did 4 years ago or 8 years ago. I can't remember. And I think that's awesome. I think Dana White is an amazing human being. He doesn't micromanage his fighters. He makes sure they obey the rules of the game. He tells referees when they're idiots, they're idiots. And he tells the press if they want to make bullshit lies, he's going to call them on it. And I've watched him do it. In press conferences, I've watched him do it on social media. I've watched him do it a lot. He's a good guy. I like him. Hulk Hogan, when I heard he was going to be making a speech, that was a shocker to me. I didn't think he was that deep into the political realm. I thought he was more one of those guys that wanted to sit out on his boat or in his surf shop and just sell stuff, meet people, and make a little money and enjoy the rest of his retirement from the wrestling ring. So the fact that he's getting into this, I don't know what to say. I'm awestruck at that aspect right there. So, I think that JD Vance gave an awesome speech last night, and I think he showed three things that I really like in him as a leader and potential future presidential candidate. Number one, he had humility. He told us where he came from. He was from an abusive, drug-ridden home. He was from a home where he had to be raised by his grandma or his mama, as I put in the title, as opposed to being raised by his mother because she was too strung out on drugs to raise him. He talked about how he knows what it's like to be shot at. He knows what it's like to see his friends die. He knows what it's like to have a hunger to defend this country even to the death. He didn't have to face that aspect of it. I'm sorry, let me rephrase that. He didn't succumb to that aspect of that type of passion, but he did fight for it, knowing that was something that could happen. He applauded his mom and talked positively about her for 10 minutes, showing what this Republican Party under Trump, under this new realm with the younger generation coming in, what it means to be a Republican. And it doesn't just mean that you fight for what is on the right side of center. It doesn't mean that you are conservative. There's a bunch of moderate Republicans out there, and I don't fault them for being moderate. I completely understand it. But he also showed that there's room for hope. There's room for acceptance of those that you may not agree with. And whether you're Democrat, Republican, Independent, or somewhere in between all those groups, we need to come together as a country. I do not feel in any way, shape, or form that dividing this country into little spastic groups of conservative, moderate, Republican, Independent, Democrat, Green Party, Blue Party, BLM, Black Party, all that shit's garbage. If you want to see a country that this world envies, come together. If you want to see a country that's more prosperous and takes better care of its citizens, come together. Because people inside the White House, the people inside the Congress, the people inside the Senate cannot stand against the people. That's how our society, that's how our government was set up. And when the people come together and make their voice heard, that's where we win our country back. We steer our country the way we want to. We have the handle of the rudder in our hands, not them. We just have to remember we have that power. Last night was inspiring, and I think tonight is going to be the biggest, most inspiring night, because we get to hear Trump speak for the first time after almost losing his life to a psycho. And I want y'all to remember that. If you've never been shot at, it changes you. If you've never had a gun put in your face, it changes you. If you've never been robbed at knife or gunpoint, it changes you. It changes your viewpoints. It changes how you value life. It changes your perspective in ways that none of you can fathom. And I mean this in the greatest and most positive sense. It changes you. I know none of you may have had a knife to your throat, or a gun to your face, or a gun to your temple, or a gun to your forehead, or gunfire around your head or your body. Have you ever evaded an accident that could have killed you? Same thing. Have you ever walked away from an accident that should have killed you? Same thing. Your perspective on life changes. One of my death-defying moments that I experienced in my own life, I was in the independent circuit out in Kansas as a professional wrestler. My career didn't go anywhere. You won't find me on any cards or action figures, or hell, I don't think there's very many YouTube videos out there with me in it inside of my wrestling gear. But I do have video of the moment that changed my life and made me change how I view life in a different perspective. And this is after having kids, okay? I was a married man of 4 kids, and we were doing this match, and it was a 3-on-1 handicap match against a monster. So if you're into wrestling right now, basically a guy kind of like Braun Strowman, big, massive, very powerful, with a little bit of a supernatural twist on it. Not supernatural, but just odd natural twist on it. And we had worked over this bit multiple times in practice. And we were just going to do a standard match start. You go into a headlock, you get pushed off, you get bumped down. The person goes off the ropes, jumps over you, and when they come back up, you leapfrog them. Well, when I leapfrogged him, either I didn't spread my legs wide enough, or he came up too much. We clipped each other. Well, when we clipped, I went head first over his back. I shouldn't have gone head first over his back. He should have gone under me. Well, when I clipped him and I went head first over his back, I remembered one of the things you learn when you start to practice and learn to be a professional wrestler, to tuck. Head to your chin, chin to your chest. And when I did that, I landed basically on my C5, C6 vertebrae, right at the base of my back, where my just above where my shoulder blades are, which is where you're supposed to land when doing a move like that. Like if you do a forward roll in practice, you learn to land on your shoulders where it's flat. They also teach you that's one of the places when you hit somebody over the back, you want to hit there, not along the spine. The reason why is it's fatty tissue on fatty tissue. But I'm not going to sit here and teach a wrestling class, because I know they have a bunch of people called bullshit and whatever. But one of the things that I did is I tucked. Well, when I tucked, I landed on the top of my shoulder blades at the base of my neck, and I survived it. It looked so scary to everybody around, they thought I broke my neck. So first the ref comes down, checks on me, I squeeze his hand so he knows I'm okay, because that was the signal we'd worked out, that if a move happens and it looks risque, before you throw that X and end that match, you stick your finger in their hand and see if they squeeze it. If they squeeze it, they're okay, they're just selling the move. And yes, I mean the word selling the move. I was selling that he had hurt me by coming up to make it look like it was an offensive move on his part. I was trying to make him look better, because it was a fuck up on both our parts. One of us fucked up. I'm not going to claim who did, but one of us fucked up. Maybe it was a combination of both. I don't remember. That was 11 years ago, maybe 12. Yeah, 11 years ago. So I'm not going to call anybody out. I'm just going to say a mistake happened. Mistakes happen always in the wrestling industry. They happen. That's why you practice. But a mistake happened. I went down and I did what I was supposed to do to avoid being injured, and I avoided being injured. So after I squeeze his finger, let him know I'm alive and I'm good. The ref looks at my corner like, I don't know what to fucking do. So one of my teammates comes in, he gets down next to me, he's like, hey, dude, are you okay? I was like, dude, I'm fine, I'm selling, get the fuck out the ring. So he gets out the ring, and I start to do kind of like a Hulk Hogan, you fucking hurt me comeback, and we finished the match. And I was so elated that what I had worked hard in training to react to that mistake, I had worked so hard in training on how to properly react to that mistake, that I was in the back, I was elated. I was like, oh my God, did you see that? That was amazing. That was an awesome match. And the guy's like, dude, you went 7 minutes over on your time, number one. Number two, you could have just fucking been paralyzed, and you're happy? I was like, yeah, I'm happy because I'm not paralyzed. And my viewpoint changed. His didn't. And it was one of the things that kind of made me separate from them, plus the fact that my ex decided she was going to, at the time, wife decided she was going to become my ex-wife and leave me. So that caused me to change states and live somewhere else. And now I live in Colorado, and I ended up going to a wrestling group out here, and so on and so forth. So that being said, When you face a situation that endangers your life and you could have died, or you could have been drastically affected by that situation, I mean, let's run through all the different things that could have happened had that bullet hit Trump. In a greater aspect, it could have blown the back of his head off and killed him instantly. It could have gone through his head and caused brain damage, and he would have been worse than Fetterman was after he had a stroke. Not saying anything bad about Fetterman. I'm making a comparison of where Fetterman was after he had that stroke and the therapy he had to go through. Trump could have been worse than that had the bullet entered his brain. If he had been sideways, imagine how that could have affected the country. Seeing their beloved candidate for president, seeing his brains go out the side of his face and him drop like a rock. Imagine what that would have done to the country. I mean, people were talking a few months back that we were on the verge of a civil war. If they try and put Trump in jail, imagine what kind of civil war we would have been facing had they actually killed him. But praise be to God, Trump did not die that day. Trump just had a small piece of his ear ripped off, and according to the joke that he told his son, the joke had to do something with Holyfield, so I'm assuming it was a Mike Tyson biting the ear joke. I can imagine it was probably one along the lines of, "Hey Dad, how you doing?" "I'm fine, other than the fact that I feel like I was just in a fight with Mike Tyson." He goes, "Really? I thought you didn't sustain any injuries." I was like, "No, come on, man. I feel like Mike Tyson bit my ear off." Something like that, I'm assuming. I know with how quick-witted Donald Trump is, I'm pretty sure it would have been something along those lines, I would have laughed at that after I would have been concerned for his safety, but once he made a joke like that, I would have known he was fine. I would encourage all of you to make sure you watch tonight. You get to see the UFC president, Dana White, who is probably, I'm making an assumption, because I haven't seen any official articles stating what he's going to do there, but I'm making the assumption he's going to be the one to make a speech before Trump comes out and introduce Trump. Hulk Hogan's going to be giving a speech, which, sorry, I'm still shocked at that one. I don't know what to say about it. I can't wait to hear what he has to say. Know what I mean, brother? And there's a few other guests I'm curious to see who they're going to have talk. The Nikki Haley speech was shocking the other night. I didn't expect her to even be there. I saw there was a video that came out where Matt Gaetz was giving the former head of the House, the former Speaker of the House, his name evades me right now, but he was giving him shit, was like, "When is your speech?" "Oh wait, that's right. If you get up there to have a speech, you'll be booed off the stage." And I'm just like, damn, dude, bring it down a notch. We are trying to come back together as a party, not rip each other's fucking heads off, man. Shit. And that's how I reacted to that video. Matt Gaetz, I love you, dude, but damn, that dude straight up, I mean, if that was a 5-round fight, that would have been a knockout in the first 60 seconds, man. Woo, man. That was vicious. But I guess that's one of the reasons why I like Matt Gaetz, is because when it comes to the hearings and his debating skills and his ability to fight for what is right, he's a beast. So, that being said, guys, I hope y'all enjoy the RNC's final night with Trump doing his acceptance speech and moving forward. Trump says he is still going to be doing rallies, so I'm curious to see how much the security is leveled up from the most recent situation. And I'm really excited to see what other national superstars are going to join us as a country, as a party, when it comes to supporting Trump and hopefully, not hopefully, but getting him across that finish line as the future president of the United States of America. So thank you guys so much for spending your time with me. Greatly appreciated. Hope you all have a blessed rest of your day. Don't forget to check out Snook Family Studios on Twitch, twitch.tv/ArkonDelight, ARKONDLIGHT. The same call sign for YouTube, X, and Kick, KICK.com, not KIK.com. I do not mess with KIK.com. There's a lot of stupid stuff that happens on that one, and I will not touch it. So, thank you again, guys. Remember, hope, faith, and love with Christ at your back. You can do anything. No weapon formed against you shall prosper. Thank you guys for joining me. I hope you have a great rest of your